Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to break down a critical forecast that could impact millions. But to really understand what's coming, we actually need to look back, way back, nearly 150 years.
So let's start with a piece of history, not a forecast. Let's go back to the year 1877, a year that, for many, was just filled with unimaginable heat and horror.
You see, there was this thing called the Great Famine. It wasn't just in one place, it was a catastrophic event that swept across multiple continents, all at the same time. We're talking Asia, Africa, South America.
And India was absolutely devastated. Down south, the Madras presidency got hit by a famine so severe that it's estimated to have taken 20 million lives. Just think about that number for a second.
So, what caused all this? Was it a war? A new disease? Nope. It was a natural phenomenon, something that started thousands of kilometers away in the Pacific Ocean. And here's the kicker. Scientists are now warning us that it's coming back, and this time, it could be stronger than ever.
Okay, so to really wrap our heads around what might be coming in 2026, we first need to understand what happened back then, this super El Niño of 1877, the one that triggered that global catastrophe.
Just take a look at this timeline. You can see it right there. This wasn't a bunch of separate unlucky events. No, it was one single, connected, global problem. You've got massive famines in India and China, terrible drought in Brazil, and then, get this, Minnesota basically had a year without a winter. All of it triggered by the exact same extreme weather pattern.
All right, so what exactly is this thing? This powerful phenomenon that can cause so much chaos all over the world? Let's break it down. Let's decode El Niño.
Okay, so let's get into it. The name El Niño actually means the little boy in Spanish. But what it really is, it's like a giant reshuffling of heat in the Pacific, which is, the biggest ocean on the planet. When trillions and trillions of liters of water all warm up at once, they unleash enough energy to basically rewire the entire planet's weather system. And what's so fascinating is that it all boils down to the wind. Seriously. So, in a normal year, you've got these strong trade winds that act like a giant conveyor belt, pushing warm water from the Americas over to Asia. And that's what fuels the monsoon rains in places like India. But during an El Niño year, that conveyor belt just sputters out. It slows down or even reverses. And all that warm water just sloshes back to the east. The result? Droughts where there should be rain and floods where it's normally dry.
So you can see how even a regular El Niño is already bad news for a lot of people. But here's the thing. Experts are warning that what's coming in 2026 isn't just a regular El Niño. It's shaping up to be a perfect storm of problems all piling on top of each other.
See, it's not just one single thing we have to worry about. It's a combination of three really critical factors that makes this whole forecast so, dangerous. It's about when it's happening, how strong it's going to be, and the kind of world it's showing up in.
Okay, first up, intensity. The forecasts are predicting that the surface temperature of the Pacific Ocean is going to rise by 2 degrees Celsius. Now, that might not sound like a huge number, but for an ocean that big, it's like a massive fever. It's more than enough to classify this as a super El Niño.
And second, we have to talk about our starting point. Our planet is already, running a bit of a fever itself. Because of climate change, the global baseline temperature is already 1.4 degrees Celsius hotter than it was back in pre-industrial times.
So here's the really crucial part. You take that 2 degrees from the super El Niño and you add it on top of the 1.4 degrees of warming we already have. What do you get? A potential temperature anomaly of almost 3 degrees. A number like that, it's something we have literally never seen before in all of human history.
I heard a great way to think about this. Imagine you're already in a room that's a sweltering 40 degrees Celsius. Climate change has already made it unbearably hot. Then, the super El Niño is like someone walking into that room and turning on a space heater right in your face. That's the kind of compounding effect we're up against.
Okay, so what does all this abstract temperature stuff actually mean for people on the ground? Well, for a country like India, this unprecedented heat isn't just one problem. It's a crisis with multiple layers, all stacked against each other.
It really is a chain reaction, It starts with the monsoon. A weakened monsoon means less water. That, in turn, spells big trouble for agriculture, since more than half of India's farms depend on that rain. On top of that, the heat itself gets worse. We're talking more frequent, more intense heat waves, and all of this hammers the economy. Less food production leads to higher prices right at the grocery store.
And, as is so often the case, the real burden of this crisis, the real human cost, it doesn't fall on everyone equally. It falls hardest on the most vulnerable people in our society.
I mean, the numbers are just staggering. If you work outside for a living, a heat wave isn't just uncomfortable, it's a direct hit to your wallet. There was a study that found just a 1 degree Celsius rise in temperature can cut a person's daily earnings by 14%. And during a really bad heat wave, that can plummet by as much as 40%. That's almost half your income gone.
So, faced with a problem this huge, it's really easy to feel, well, helpless. But the good news is, there are concrete, meaningful things that we can do. And it starts right in our own communities. We can think about the solutions on 3 different levels. First, we need to protect our natural air conditioners, trees. A single mature tree provides way more cooling than a bunch of new saplings ever could. Second, we need to practice community care. This can be as simple as offering a bottle of water or an ORS packet to a delivery person or a street vendor. It could literally save a life. And third, we've got to change how we use energy. Solar panels are way more affordable now, and even a small setup can help take the strain off a grid that's already struggling, especially during heat waves. But there's a huge obstacle in our way, and that's the widespread deforestation we're seeing, which is so often excused in the name of development or progress. The reality behind that excuse, though, is pretty shocking. The data shows that between 2015 and 2019, for every 1 square kilometer of new trees that were planted, 18 square kilometers of old established forest were cut down. 18 to 1. That kind of imbalance is just making our cities hotter and leaving us all way more vulnerable. So, you see, this isn't just another weather forecast. It's a sign of a really fundamental shift happening to our planet. And it forces us to ask a tough question. For a child who's born in 2026, what is a normal summer even going to mean to them?